Hello, this is Dr. Allen. If you are getting this video in your announcement, that means you have a field experience practical video that's due in this course, 5345. The video that's going to be done is called Leading in the Realization of a Vision. In order to find these guidelines, you're going to go to the Practicum Program Resource Course in Blackboard. So you're going to look at your list of courses, find that course. On the left-hand side, you're going to see video guidelines. Click on that link and you're looking for Leading in the Realization of a Vision. So let's briefly talk over these guidelines. First, you're going to see the rationale, the focus statement, the NELPs, and the TA competencies. Next, you'll find a list of key terms. Contextual standards. Those are the things that must be in your video in order for it to be accepted. So let's talk about them. You're going to have 3 segments: the introduction, the activity, and the reflection. You must be in the video. You have some options of doing it digitally with Zoom, Teams, or other digital formats. Or FaceTime even, since this is an individual interview. You can do it via the phone, recording you while you're talking on the phone, but you must be seen in that video, or you can do it face-to-face. Since we have kind of adapted these guidelines due to the coronavirus, again, that can happen at your house or at the school where you are serving. You need to be professionally dressed. That means that you are looking that part of the principal, not wearing that ball cap or your athletic gear or even your pajamas, that you're dressed professionally and look like a principal on that campus. Be sure that your communication is professional. If you don't know what that means, you can look that up in the Practicum Handbook, but basically what that means is that you're not trashing anybody on that campus or the campus itself, and that you're using appropriate language and not profanity. And that includes the people that you are interviewing. You're going to have that introduction segment, and that needs to be somewhere around a minimum time requirement of 3 minutes. Sometimes people go over, but in that, you're going to talk about various things. We'll look at that in a minute. You've got that activity segment. That's going to be a minimum of 35 minutes. That does not mean that each interview is going to take 35 minutes. That means that total activity with your 3 interviews is going to equal 35 minutes. And then your reflection segment, which is going to be that minimum of 75. Those 3 segments need to add up to at least 45 minutes. Again, you as the candidate needs to be seen and heard in that video during these interviews and your introduction and reflection. We need to be able to hear who you're interviewing, not necessarily see them, but hear them. So be sure and test out your equipment and make sure it works. Be sure your sound is turned up all the way. Be sure that microphone is close to you and your interviewee so we can hear you clearly. For this one, you're going to interview 1 campus administrator and 2 instructional faculty members. What that means is a campus administrator is your principal, assistant principal, or associate principal, somebody in that principalship category, because you are working to be a principal. So you need to interview that principal to get that viewpoint. The other 2 you're going to interview are going to be instructional staff members. So those are people that are involved in the instruction of students. Your teachers. It could be an instructional coach if they're involved in teaching students and not just coaching the faculty. You're going to put those segments in UJA, and then you're going to upload that as you have other videos. If you have trouble with that, you're going to contact Dr. Harrison. We'll go through contacts in just a moment. In that introduction, again, that minimum of 3 minutes, you're going to talk about yourself, introduce yourself. You're going to give the demographics. So for Texas students, you're going to use that TAPER report. For out-of-state students, find out how you can get that demographic information for that campus. You're going to talk about the activity and what you're going to do, maybe who you're going to interview, what you expect to learn, and then those conversations you had with your mentor as you set those up and chose who you were going to interview. That activity segment, again, is a total of a minimum of 35 minutes. So you're interviewing 3 people. So what is that going to look like? Well, that's less than 20 minutes each if they're all equal. So you're looking at about 17-ish minutes a piece for those interviews. So that's pretty quick. Again, you're going to decide on your digital platform you're going to use. You're going to make sure your devices work. You may use a backup device so you don't have to ask somebody to record it again if something happens. And check to make sure it's recording throughout. We've provided you with some sample questions for your interview. So we're looking at the development of a vision, the articulation of a vision, the implementation of a vision, and the stewardship of a vision. Those are all components of making sure you have a strong vision and it's known and being implemented throughout your campus, and the community is aware as well. So you've got those sample questions. You can certainly tweak those. You can adjust them as needed. You may not need to ask all of them because they may answer these questions as they're talking about one you've already asked. So you need to pay attention to what your interviewee is saying, and if they answer it, then don't ask that question. That'll be fine. Then you have that reflection. Again, that minimum of 7 minutes. You're going to talk about what you learned from your interviewees about the development, the articulation, the implementation, and the stewardship of the vision. And let me just say, some campuses don't have a vision. Some visions are very old. You just need to talk about that, and you just need to kind of move through that and tweak those questions as needed. Some only have a vision and don't have a mission. Again, adjust your questions to fit what's going on in your campus. You're going to use that what, so what, now what model. And again, there's questions there to help you. And you're going to reflect on what you learned and how you'll use that as you move forward as well. So again, key points. You need to be seen in that video. You need to wear professional dress, and you need to have professional language. We need to be able to see, or not necessarily see, but hear your interviewees. You need to ask those questions to learn about the development, the implementation, the stewardship of that vision, and be sure that it's recording and that the sound quality is good. You're going to upload that in UJA, and that is basically it. Again, remember those key points: 3-minute introduction, at least a 35-minute activity, and at least a 7-minute reflection for a total of 45 minutes. Those are the key points to make sure that your video is accepted. Now, what if you have questions? Here's the contact information. If you have questions about that video, you're going to contact Dr. Harvey or myself. If you have technical issues, again, Dr. Harrison is our tech guru, so he would be the person to contact. Practicum questions are going to go to Dr. Harvey, and mentor questions are going to go to Dr. Watt. So mentor questions would be like, my mentor is moving, I need to change my mentor. Those kind of things. I moved from this campus, I need to change my mentor. So there's some things you need to do and take care of. So we hope this answers all your questions and puts you at ease about learning about leading in the realization of a vision. So enjoy this video activity and be sure and put it on your practicum log.